Alright guys, and here we are. Hey Jel, hey guys.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hey.
So, we did the Pirate Bay video, and today we wanted to give you the behind the scenes tour and the explanation. And yeah, I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna show you the basic blocks and things of the Ugocraft mod, and then Jel and the crew will go more into detail how we did certain things here. But yeah, to start it off, we just want to show you the basic blocks as mentioned, and they are really simple, and that is actually the cool thing about the Ugocraft. Because yeah, right, Jel, you are not the biggest fan of mods in general, but you like this one because of its simplicity.
Right, so usually, well, if a mod just adds few blocks, and this one adds, I guess in total it's actually just 8 new items, yeah, and they all have a really good purpose and really a wide application, and then it's really cool indeed.
Yeah. So, we basically have these few blocks here. Those are the blocks that can move things around, basically. We got a rotation block. We got a slide block. I mean, name is program. This thing can rotate blocks. This thing can slide blocks. We got a slant block. That is basically sliding diagonally. And we got a cannon block, which yeah, also name is program. It can shoot other blocks. Along with that, we got marker blocks, different ones. We got a marker block on off, and we got a marker target block. Those are the basic blocks you have, and then there is a few more things. This helps you with the certain setups. We got insulation plate. We got a one-way insulation plate, and we got transmission plates. It's a receiver or reception and transmission plate. Those are the main parts of the mod. There is not more.
Yeah.
In our hands we have this control panel. This is used to program certain functionalities into the blocks, or to make, for example, some of these face plates here invisible. As you can see, when you right click on there, you can make him vanish, which is cool, so you can use them at surface space. And yeah, this is the basic blocks. Now let's look at the basic functionalities.
So as you can see, there are not many blocks, but they add really cool and really a lot of awesome new functionality. So let's get started. This is a slider block here, and I will quickly remove it so you can see. There is this cross in the front. And what it does is, it checks when you trigger the lever here and power or unpower it. It checks for the next target block, which is on or off. So if you take a look, stop maybe for a moment, Doc.
It's so fascinating. Can't stop.
Yeah. So if it currently doesn't receive any power, the slider block, it tries to drag the blocks in front of it to the off block, which is the circle. And if it receives power, it tries to drag all the items to the all the blocks to the on state, which means that every item or every block which is attached to this one will also move, and even every player or any other mob which stands on here as well. It works really well, as you can see, no glitching, no anything. And yeah, you can do so many awesome creations with this. And so you might wonder, how do we make it so that the floor doesn't actually move with it as well? Or for example, if I don't want to have this this iron block at the top here moving, that's where you need those isolation plates. So if I place them here, the top few blocks will not move. That's the purpose of them. And so we got the first two very basic functions, what the isolation plates do, and yeah, what the first slider block does.
Alright, and yeah, now as we understood how sliding works, same principle for rotating things. This is the rotational block, and as you can see, when you switch it on, you can rotate things. And Jel has this control panel in his hand. He can now change the settings for the rotation and for sliding. Let's demonstrate here with the rotation. Maybe you can show real quick how it's done, Jel.
So if you see in this interface here, the first setting is the speed or the top speed of the slider here. So I can just put it to very high values and it will be very quick. And the bottom one is the acceleration. So if you put this one to a low value, it will slowly accelerate. And if you increase this to maximum value, it will already have its final speed when you start it off. So for example, when I make a let's do a slow acceleration and a high top speed, then this thing will go quicker and quicker. As you can see, boom, 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 and yeah, will eventually go very quick. And there are other settings here which we don't need at the moment, but you can disable that it also pulls stone. So for example, for stone I don't need isolation plates. I can just say that shouldn't move stone since it's a natural block and you usually don't want to move the floor you are standing on. And there's also this testing feature here which is actually really useful, and it just, instead of actually rotating the stuff, it just marks all blocks which are affected. So this is really easy to spot errors in your contraption when something is not working, because maybe it's blocked by some block which is not being connected for some reason. So for example, if I accidentally put an isolation plate here and wonder why this thing is not moving, I can see, aha, this one is not selected, therefore there must be an error between those two blocks. Yeah, so that's how the control panel works. Actually really simple. And let's take a look at this next feature here.
Yeah, and this is an advanced rotation setup basically. Here you can see the last marker block coming in place. Or a target block basically. You see, we can only do, for example, here a 90-degree rotation by going from marker blocks to marker block. And yeah, this is also really useful, for example, for doors and other setups where you want to limit your rotation a bit.
Yeah,
but
so
same thing.
Exactly, and as you can see, it instantly updates when I place this one over here. It will always, when it's unpowered, move to this circle block, and when it's powered, move to the line block. And I can also change the direction of rotation, by the way. So this way, it would always rotate the 270-degree circle, and if I change it back, it will always rotate 90 degrees. Very simple.
Yeah, and I think we can quickly mention the slant block or slant block. Depends if you're British or American. It is basically just a diagonal slide, and it works with the same principles. You have the marker blocks, and it goes to powered or to unpowered and back, vice versa. Depends if you put power to the block, and that is what we have for the basic blocks. There's one more block we probably can show over here. There is one block that fascinates most people, but oddly enough, we didn't use it too much actually in our setup. But this is the so-called cannon block, and yeah, maybe GL can demonstrate what it does and look at it real quick.
So it just fires blocks. Hooray!
Ooh.
And yeah, those blocks do really have some special properties. So for example, if I... Oh yeah, it fires continuously actually. Yeah, it can also drag people with you. As you can see, Banana was standing on it and was also lifting. And if I put some overweight on one side, it will actually fly in this direction. So there is some physics involved into this. Let's take a look.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Woohoo! Yeah, it got stuck at those vines there and dropped down here. Really cool functionality.
Yeah, so you can have a lot of fun with that. This is, for example, the block I used for my small Ugocraft demo video when we did this arrow flying. And yeah, it's getting night. I think we should have a little cut and look at the more sophisticated things. Alright guys, so now as we understood the basic principles, first thing you need to do, or you want to do of course if you have blocks like that, create moving objects. And Gel came up with a very simple design. We call it the crawler, and it is basically a moving entity that can drag along other blocks with it. There's limits though. What is the limit? The block limit. 1025 blocks is the max you can actually move around freely in space. So yeah, knowing that, Gel invented this thing a few days ago. Maybe we can build it up.
Okay, so let's actually build it up straight away in the air. So we don't need a lot of blocks. Actually, it's consisting out of only 6 blocks in total. And yeah, we do need those two marker blocks diagonal from each other. Then isolation plates on the inside. Then 2 minus blocks, and this thing will always move into the direction where the minus blocks are pointing. And then 2 slider blocks, that's all. And they are facing towards the inside pretty much. So 1 over here and 1 over here, and they are facing towards me. And then it already moves. Hooray! And we can stand on it and slide along through the air. And you can attach every kind of block to it, and it will freely move together with the other blocks, and you can make freely moving ships and whatever you can imagine with these little machines here. It's really cool. And since they're redstone controlled, if you block them with any kind of redstone signal, for example this block here, they will come to a halt. and yeah, you can work with it and do whatever you want to. And the principle is actually really simple. Those slider blocks so just pretty much, drag each other. So let's take a look at it, what would happen now. Currently this one is blocked, that means it tries to drag to the minus. But as soon as I remove this redstone block here, it will drag this side, those 3 blocks, 1 block forward. And it is important to have this isolation plate here, otherwise it would also try to drag those blocks which I'm now standing on, and also drag the slider itself, but thanks to the insulation plate it's actually working. And after that, the other motor is in position to also drag this side. So yeah, they're just dragging each other. Really simple. And yeah, that's the principle of this motor here. Let's take a look at our ship.
Yeah, we use this principle then in this battleship here, which is actually fully functional. You can see even parts of the ship is submerged, really underwater. And the cool thing is that when you move it around, the water blocks are regenerating and you will not leave destroyed water blocks along your path and whatnot. It's just a fully functional ship. So let's go forward a bit. Forward. Right. Crawlers connected to each other and allowing 2-dimensional movement with this object. But there's also ways to do 3-dimensional movement. We'll look at that later too. Backward.
Hooray! All directions are working. There's even a cannon attached to this one, so let's just quickly demonstrate this. Even redstone is fully working here, so there are no bugs or anything when you try to move redstone. And well, you can even make working cannons which allow you to destroy something else. Yeah. Yeah,
which is really, really cool. I'd say, yeah, we should look into the map and check out how we used some of the principles. We also used these transmission plates, but yeah, we will show you at the individual setups and explain how these transmission plates come into the whole mix now. So yeah, I'd say we start at the drawbridge and let's go. Okay guys, so yeah, let's look at some of the designs in the map here. This is the drawbridge, for example. Milky, can you open it real quick?
Yeah, sure. There we go.
So you can see freely moving. You can even walk on the moving blocks. You can even walk around on it. And the cool thing is, now we've ended the movement and the drawbridge kind of really stays in place, even diagonally, which is really cool, which opens totally new build options as well. You can use these principles for very cool structures. Yeah, and here you can see the motor. Or the hinge. Maybe GL can explain it real quick. It's really simple, actually.
Yeah, it's just the same principle as we showed on the surface over there. This motor is trying to move towards the minus signal here, which is the on state. And yeah, it can't because there's this mountain in the way. And therefore, the bridge just gets stuck in this almost straight position. And yeah, therefore, it won't move further, and you can have this bridge in this position and freely walk around it. Really cool.
Yep. Can you close it again so we can have a look at the hinge moving from this side? But I think you already saw it while the bridge was opening. So it goes back into the unpowered position. And there we go, reached its position. And just keep in mind, we showed you the insulation plates. When you make objects like that, you have to make sure to isolate it from the rest of the mountain or from the rest of the structure. Otherwise, it of course won't work. Also here in the middle where the bridge separates, you need to have the insulation plates. And it's getting dark. Maybe we can get it back to daylight so we can see things better. But we just thought in the night the map looks the most impressive. That's why we recorded some of the parts in the darkness. And yeah, the same principle with the hinges here is used, for example, at this door, the floodgates. Maybe we can open it real quick. Philip is somewhere behind the scenes. There you can see door opens on the platform to the submarine we showed in the video. We will look at the mechanics of that in a second. Yeah, you can see floodgates are opening. And for example, here you can see the rotating skull. This is a rotational block, and in this case we use the transmission plates. Maybe JL can show this principle. This is how you could basically create floating but moving items and do some other tricks. But this is a very good example for how the transmission plates work.
Yeah, so There is an invisible, so you can also make those transmission plates invisible, plate below the skull, and the motor is actually just down here below the surface. As you can see, let's just actually turn this off. This is the transmission plate, and there's a reception plate as well. They have a slightly different texture, so this is the reception one, this is the transmission one. And as soon as this skull came to an halt, I can actually show you where the other plate is. And what it simply does, it searches for a reception plate in the direction of where the transmission plate is facing within 15 meters. So yeah, it only has a reach of 50 meters, but it is by far enough for the skull here. And everything which is attached to the reception plate will move as well, just as with any other block. And yeah, we soon will have the skull back as blocks. There we go. And now we can check the surface down here. Somewhere there must be this plate. Let's actually take a look at which position this is. This is, yeah, over here. So this actually probably is in somewhere in the inside. Yeah, but you can get it. So if I put a reception plate over here, it will connect to the whole skull and rotate it. That's it.
Yeah, and actually the effect goes through blocks, which is really cool. So you can really make these invisible connections. And another cool thing is when the thing rotates, you can see it now. It's pretty normally lit, but there's a cool side effect. When you rotate it, it kind of is more bright, which is really cool for the skull here, which has this three-dimensional eyes kind of tracking you. And it's really nice when it's rotating around. Up there's, for example, the windmill. It uses exactly the same thing. Where's the lever for that one? Somewhere hidden here. Let me turn it on. There, windmill. Same principle. Of course, make sure to isolate it from the rest of the building. And then use one of these rotational motors and just, yeah, spin it. This is a very simple thing. But it's really cool to have actually a working windmill.
Obviously, those transmission plates, those wireless ones, work for just movements as well, not just for the rotation blocks, for the slider blocks as well, as you can see here in this example. And yeah, how did we do this? There's apparently no motor attached to this, but there is simply this reception plate down here, which I can make invisible with the control panel. And below the surface, down here, can someone maybe flip the switch? I can show.
Okay, Philip is on it.
Yep.
Yeah, so here's the motor, and there is the transmission plate above this one. So it's actually really, really simple. I just had to hook the switch up with redstone wiring towards this motor here to get this done. This little cage here working. Pretty cool.
Yeah, move it up again, maybe, Philip, so you can see the top part. It's really cool how the fence gate basically pulls up, and we kind of tried to mimic some kind of a motor here with this little setup. But actually it's controlled from below, which is really, really cool. Okay, so this is the cannon tower we used. This is actually fully functional. Maybe Milky, you can demonstrate real quick. So you can rotate it in 90-degree increments and then actually use the cannon built in. Let's fire a little shot here. Hopefully we don't destroy our platform.
And there we go, and it somehow landed in the water. Yep.
So no damage done. Pretty cool. You know, all these things you can make with this mod, it's almost limitless. Also elevators. This is the Captain's Express lift, we called it. Maybe JL can hop in and demonstrate it and explain a bit.
Yep, so let's go down. And when I press this button here, the whole cage will move down. And same principle again, just isolate it from the walls and it will perfectly move. And below there is actually this time not a wireless connection, but you can see it when I lift it up again. There is this long chain of wooden blocks attached to this, and yeah, down here there's actually a motor, and it will simply go to the minus or to the circle marker block depending on the current power state of the motor itself, which is controlled by a T flip-flop and some buttons everywhere. Really simple actually, as yeah, most of the creations with the mod. We got some more fancy stuff which we'll show you in the end, but most of this is really actually absolute redstone for beginners, I would say. And that makes it so cool for everyone because yeah, it's absolutely user friendly.
How much blocks can you actually move up and down? That is also a question people might wonder. If you want to have an elevator, I think it was 60 or something. Right.
How many blocks you can move? Yeah, I believe it's around 60, but I actually didn't count it. It's quite a difference, but it's quite a distance. But if you want to have more, you can simply attach several of these motors here to a higher elevator. What I mean is, let's actually quickly demonstrate this. This is a good point. In this house here, we got a multi-floor elevator. And yeah, it works by having several motors which can move bit by bit. So if I go to the 3rd floor in this house here, you can see I first move to the 2nd floor and then quickly move to the 3rd floor as well. And yeah, before we go to the mechanics, you can stack those motors to get as high as you want. It's really simple.
Yep. Okay guys, part of this cool elevator, the multi-floor elevator, is also a secret passageway. Maybe JL can demonstrate real quick while standing below the elevator and I push you down. Call the elevator. And it glitches you through the block. You would take a little bit of damage, right, JL, if you would do it in survival?
Yeah, so what actually happens is, unlike with pistons, you actually, the piston or the Ugocraft block has more force than this solid block below, and therefore you will actually get pushed through and get 1/2 heart of suffocation damage in survival. But you will definitely survive this and land on this platform here to the secret escape route to our submarine.
Yeah, you could also use this principle of pushing players down to push them up really quickly. They would basically always glitch up and you can kind of teleport players around. It's a pretty funny principle. Here we have a seamless door, one-sided, which is also pretty cool. You would not be able to do it like that in regular Minecraft. You would be able to do it, but it would of course not be so seamless and smooth and yeah, making no noise at all. Really cool. Those are the small things, and yeah, this is the more impressive part here. Now the secret submarine underground vault, and for this design the one-way face plates or the one-way insulation plates came to use, and maybe JL can explain what we did with them and what they do.
Yeah, so as the title implies, they actually isolate one side from the other while not isolating the other side from it. So in this case, the magnet can drag the glass half sphere upwards, as you can see, but it doesn't drag the submarine itself, and that's because there are simply some isolation plates down here which isolate the glass from the submarine. But on the other hand, if I go inside and you lower the glass sphere again, thanks Milky, I can move around with the submarine, and the glass blocks will move as well, since they are attached via the one-way isolation plates. Same goes for the magnet itself. I can move below it without dragging the magnet, but the magnet can drag the glass, since there are one-way insulation plates. And they work really well. Same goes for the platform. There are isolation plates, one-way insulation plates all over the place here. And what they do is they drag the submarine downwards when you lift down the platform, but the submarine can move independently forward since it's not attached to the platform in the other direction. Really cool.
Yeah, let's demonstrate it real quick. You can see now we pull it off the magnet, and we're pulling the object that has no one-way plates and pull it away from the magnet, and yeah, pull it with the platform because that has one-way insulation plates, and thus you can now detach it and you can make setups like that. And yeah, fully functional submarine. Maybe we can bring it back up, or JL can grieve himself in there.
Yeah, let's go quicker.
And we should open the floodgates, and maybe you can jug a night vision potion so you improve visibility a bit. It's actually also night outside. Maybe we should make it daytime so we see a bit better. There we go. And yeah, fully functional submarine, and actually no water leaks in and all, so that is really, really cool. Having fun down there?
Yeah.
Really, really nice. And yeah, it's the same principle, you know, the crawlers we used, we showed you in the beginning. Combine them, and this is a two-dimensional movement. If you want to go up and down, you need to make it a bit more complicated. But yeah, we also made a UFO that will be demonstrated by JL, but we thought it's a bit more complicated and it deserves a individual video. So yeah, always keep your eyes out on JL's channel. It will soon be up there as well. And yeah, over here we got another thing which is simple but yet really impressive, at least for a Minecraft player. The diagonal placement of blocks or moving entities again. This was the battleship we hit with the TNT, and we have this effect of the ship kind of sinking down. And you can see we tilt it over. We used a simple rotation block and another hinge. And yeah, you can see it. It's in a, what kind of angle would that be? 30-degree maybe?
I don't know exactly, but it is working. I can jump into the water, jump out again, move around and run around slopes. And and you cannot really punch this one. It's one single entity, and therefore it's ungriefable, and you cannot remove it actually until you make it solid again.
And basically the thing is, it's the same principle we use with the floodgate. It tries to move, but it can't because it's blocked somewhere in the setup, and thus it stays. We called it mega entities, all these blocks that connect as a moving entity, and it stays a mega entity, and thus you cannot grief it, or it's not really there, it's just visual. Over here, small little details. This house, for example, was made by B-dubs, and we have a little treasure cave and everything. But yeah, you will get this world for download, you can check it out yourself. Another thing we need to show you over here, this is Panda's no, not Panda's, Banana's secret hideout layer / rotating or revolving doors. It has this hidden switch here. There's a cool video JL and the crew made. It's an invention by Panda. Will be a link in the video description to that, but you can see nothing. It's totally flawless. But if you break it open, there's this button hidden behind it, and you actually have to aim correctly. But yeah, check out the video in the video description, how to hide buttons in vanilla Minecraft. Yeah, completely hidden. And yeah, this is the revolving door. I'm gonna press the button. Maybe JL, you can stand on there so people see.
Yep.
Has a slight delay to it. Go. Really cool design. Like it a lot. It's actually involving some pistons as well. As you see, when the floor comes down, maybe you can press the button again to let us in, JL.
Indiana Jones style.
Yeah, so really cool. This is Banana's secret hideout here with the map of the area and all. And yeah, those revolving doors are pretty cool. That would be actually something I would really say I'd like to have in vanilla Minecraft, seriously. The other stuff, of course, you know, it's a strong mod, powerful mod, and it would probably be overpowered for vanilla Minecraft, but some of the features here are just fascinating. Really, really cool. And yeah, I'd say we covered everything here in the map. There is some small little secrets here and there, you know, you would probably find if you look around.
Yeah, especially those villagers here. As you can see, the textures are all redone by Frank.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. She actually made all these textures. I think we have 5-6 different pirate textures. I think we should offer this texture bed as well in the download. It is vanilla, just with modified villagers. Maybe you can use them as well for some of your own pirate map projects or something. So big shout outs, of course, to Frank and all the guys who helped building here. You can see them in the end of the video in the credits. Hopefully we didn't forget anybody. It was a big project. Kept us busy for well over a week, many hours a day, building here and trying things out, but it was well worth it. We were all fascinated by it. By the way, don't worry guys, you know, we will not go all out mod now. We still love our vanilla Minecraft. But yeah, as some old school players, it was really fun to work with a mod like this, and we were able to make this crazy cool map. Hope you enjoy it. Anything you want to add, JL?
No, I just think I really hope that you enjoy this video and enjoyed our demonstration here. And yeah, obviously, as I said, everything will be available for download in the description. So check this out. Yeah, credits and shoutouts to everyone who helped. And thanks for watching, of course.
Make sure to leave a like. Show some love. A lot of work went into this. Are out. Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.